Neurobiology is the study of the cells in the nervous system and how they communicate and interact with each other and eventually all come together to form the nervous system as a whole. The nervous system is divided into two main parts. The central nervous system, which is your sort of central processor, which is your brain and your spinal cord. So the two pieces of the nervous system that are responsible for receiving all of the information from the rest of your body, as well as sending all of the information from your brain to the rest of your body. And then the other main category in the nervous system is the peripheral nervous system, which is all of the other neurons outside of your brain and the spinal cord. And the function of the peripheral nervous system is to carry the signals that are sent from your brain down your spinal cord to all of your nerves to carry out any messages that the brain sends to the rest of the body. A neuron is the basic unit of the nervous system. There are thousands of different types of neurons, but when we refer to something as a neuron, it's considered a cell that is contained within the nervous system. They do thousands and thousands of different things. Motor neurons help move your muscles. They're what communicates your conscious thought to move to your hand, the muscles that control your hand. There are neurons in your brain that secrete different chemicals that make you feel different ways. For example, dopamine neurons in your brain produce the chemical dopamine, which controls your mood. Dopamine basically makes you happy. And so when you do things that make you happy, like, for example, I love playing music. When you play music, dopamine is increased in your brain. There are sensory neurons that bring back information from the environment. There are tons of different types of specialized sensory neurons. An analogy for a neuron itself, I like to think of it as an email system. One, because neurons use electricity to send signals within the cell itself. And so there's three main parts that a neuron possesses that can be analogous to an email system. So the first part is the cell body, which is, you can think of as sort of the computer, the CPU, the central processor of the cell. It's where the nucleus is, it's where a lot of the molecules are generated. Then coming off of the cell body are processes called dendrites, and they're these they look like tree branches coming off. They're very branched and they're sort of all over the place. And they're the ones that receive the signal. So they're sort of the inbox of the cell. It's where all the information comes in. It's where the information is gathered. And then there's a third process that comes off the cell body that is known as an axon. And the axon is sort of the outbox of the cell. The axon is the part of the cell that sends information or a signal to another cell. A fun fact that I always love to talk about in neurobiology is that in the brain alone, the human brain alone, there are more connections than there are stars in our galaxy, which is pretty incredible to think about.